There's a huge difference between believing in God and believing God. Have you ever noticed this? That it's a lot easier to just believe that God exists and maybe even believe that he's a part of our lives, but actually believing what he says and trusting him is a lot harder. In fact, up to 80% of Americans would say that they believe in God, that they think there's some kind of higher source out there, and maybe he's even a personal God, but actually having him alongside us in our life, believing what he says and trusting him, that's something I think way less than 80% of people are doing in their lives. And so why is that so hard? What is the tension that we feel between knowing that God exists and actually knowing that he's moving in our lives, trusting that he's going to do what he says he'll do? Hebrews 10:23 speaks to this and gives us a little bit of hope for those moments when it's hard to believe God, even if we believe in him. It says, "Let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep his promise." God can be trusted to keep his promise. And I want you to hear that. If you're in one of those times where it's like, sure, I know that God exists, but is he actually trustworthy? Is he actually going to do what he said he'll do? This is a great verse just to keep us anchored, to remind us that God will fulfill his promises. And here's the thing. It might not always look the way that we want it to. It might not always look like the timing that we want it to happen in, but whether that's a promise that you've felt personally God has given, a promise that you've seen in the Bible and his scripture, or something else that you're just waiting for God to do, I want you to hear this. Keep believing. Keep believing, keep trusting that God is going to do what he says he'll do. That is our hope, that God can be trusted, that he will fulfill his promise.